Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here. And I wanted to give everyone just a little update of what's happening here at World Alternative Media. Of course, we have been pushing forward now for 13 and a half, coming up on 14 years at WAM, previously Winnipeg Alternative Media, now, of course, for the last 11 years, World Alternative Media. And, we have faced a lot of conflict, a lot of backlash for daring to not just go against the mainstream media, but also push back against the mainstream alternative media alongside some great people like David Icke. And of course, people like James Corbett and Dan Dix and others who've pushed back against the wave of narrative pushing alternative media, which is taking over as people leave television for independent media. And of course, they hijack that and create narratives around it. Those of us that are serious about it want to push back. And because of that, we're unpopular. I could also say the same for people like Derek Rose or Jeff Berwick. There's a lot of great people out there pushing back against the narratives. I do want to point out, though, that we cannot survive without you guys. And I wanted to let you guys know about our fundraiser for this month, because, of course, even though, we wish we could create another Go Get Funding page, we can't. They won't let us. We've been trying to create new Go Get Funding pages for about a year now. So we're stuck with this almost 6-year-old Go Get Funding page. But if anyone wants to help support us, we truly appreciate it. You guys are keeping us alive. I want to update you guys in a minute on what's been going on. But I want to thank Daniel Hartley, who was the latest person who donated $40 a couple days ago. And, you guys are all awesome, and you guys are keeping independent media alive. So we have gogetfunding.com. We also have Patreon and Subscribestar. Anyone that pays $4.99 a month or more, including on X at World Alt Media, I should also add, you'll get exclusive content, including subscriber-only content, and, of course, personalized video messages if you have questions that you want to ask us, which we want to make sure that we do more of. So make sure to send in questions. We want to be able to connect with all of you guys that are already, for example, pledged. We also have a PayPal address, ancientwonderstelevision@gmail.com. We have a Bitcoin address that you could scan on the screen here or check out in the description in text form. And of course, we have our Cointree link with a bunch of different cryptocurrencies that you could donate in if you please, including privacy coins. We have, of course, our links in the description for Teespring with merchandise, and all those things all help us survive. And of course, I'd be remiss to not mention that, we are probably not going to be on band.video much longer, because band.video is going down right away. So if you are watching on band, make sure to go and subscribe on Rumble and BitChute. Now, I want to go over a little bit of the stuff that we've dealt with as of recently. So many of you might know, in September, we did not post as many videos as we'd like to. Usually we post every day, sometimes twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day, even though algorithms don't work in our favor very much when we do 3 videos a day, because as it goes, our previous videos get basically squashed. But nonetheless, there's a lot happening in the world right now. And I want to be able to break apart the psyops that we're witnessing across the board. And of course, with that, we get in trouble a lot for daring to push back. And that includes, for example, my bank accounts basically being squashed recently. I had to go to Canada, thanks to the help of one of the great affiliates at WAM. They made it possible for us to go to Canada and deal with this issue. Technical errors, the second time in a year, that shut down accounts and send debt collectors after me, because we are facing bankruptcy, but I always try to make sure that we're even with the debts. I don't like being in debt, but we got attacked big time. And of course, as per usual, doing what I do, I'm suspicious of how these things all seem to happen. Back in 2024, I had all my bank accounts went down at the exact same time. I have multiple just for safety reasons. Obviously, we shouldn't be dependent on banks, but just for like in a travel situation, or if I'm going to cover a story, just so that I'm not, living on the streets, I want to make sure that there are a few options. All of them went down on the same day without any reason, without me using my cards, without me doing anything. So that was suspicious. Last year, I was forced in November to go to Canada and fix that issue at the desk of all these banks. And then, of course, this year we faced our biggest problem ever, which was like complete total bankruptcy. We lost 95% of our overall revenue, which was already very minimal. and ended up basically unable to afford to eat. And it was terrible. And a couple months ago, I was stuck with $20 in my bank account for 3 weeks. That was the most I had. I didn't touch it. I had to borrow from friends. Awful situation. Now, anyway, you guys have helped keep us alive, and we appreciate that. And I know I'm going to get trolled in the comments. I always do, because people hate the fact that I could possibly put out the option to get donations when I post videos for free every day. And I do it because I love it and I'm passionate about it. And I want to help those of you watching and make sure that we give proper solutions to real world issues and not be called just black billed and negative, but talk about real issues that might be negative, but we need to know the negatives to bring in the positives. And, I do all that for free. I don't ask for money in return for any of that. But obviously I need to survive, and people with this communist mindset often will troll and go, how dare you ask voluntarily for people to decide if they want to send $1, $5, 10, 20, 100, 200. Why would you dare do such a thing? And it's like, well, I need to survive. Do you work for money in your life? I mean, like, again, silly stuff. But yeah, I expect to get trolled, and I will, and I won't read those comments. But my point is, recently I go to Canada. I have to deal with all these bank issues for the second time in a year. Things get absolutely ridiculous. I don't know. Those of you that are in Canada, I don't know how you are surviving in Canada. I live in Mexico. It's still expensive here with inflation, but Canada, it's over the top. It's unbelievable. I can't believe how much food costs. I can't believe how much hotels cost. And that was the thing. I was supposed to be there for 5 days. I ended up stuck there almost a month. So it stopped me from being able to put up as many videos as I wanted to do. It was in the midst of a crazy scenario where, Charlie Kirk gets shot, and we have to go into all the allegations and all the issues surrounding that. We had a hell of a month in September, and I don't mean that in a good way. And I had to spend basically every cent I had. But you guys are still keeping us up and running, and I don't know where we'd be without you guys. I'm back in Mexico. I've been back in Mexico since October the 7th. Then we had flooding. Then we had renovations that had to be done on our apartment. We're not paying for it, but it's still intrusive. Water shooting out of the wall in our bedrooms and all that kind of stuff. The fun stuff that sometimes happens in Mexico. So we have just been trying to keep going and keep pushing forward, but with a lot of obstacles. And I think it's a good idea. I like to give people updates on what exactly is happening here at WAM, and the reasoning for things, because you never know what might hit you and cause problems. And now that we enter November, of course, we're heading towards another uncertain year for all of us. And for us here at WAM, we are no different in that sense, like not just as far as news, but I mean, we definitely are not sure how we're going to survive next year. I mean, last year, or this year, I should say, January to April was horrifying. And then it got even worse. April to like June, it was like, shit, how am I going to survive? And then we've had a few lucky incidences here and there, and some amazing, helpful people that have boosted us to keep us in a position where we can support ourselves. And but we're going back down, and we need to grab this and take certain precautions now while we can, before things get any crazier. And for that reason, I request anyone out there to help support us if they can, and check those links in the description. And if you can't, don't. If you don't have any money, if you are really struggling with money, please do not donate to us. I'll feel terrible. I'm in the same position, and I would love to help people with money, but I can't. It has to be, you got to focus on yourself first and all that. But if you can, I truly appreciate it. So those links are in the description. And, we have a lot of options for people. I also just wanted to do a video also on top of everything, just to give a shout out to those who watch us on band.video. We will not be on there much longer. They are getting taken over because of this lawsuit that Alex Jones is facing. And they are about to basically take all the assets and take the studio, and most likely the website as well. Because before, in November of 2024, when they initially claimed the Onion took it, when we go on band.video, it immediately went to the Onion. It's insane. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. It's an attack on free speech. But nonetheless, we won't be able to reach you anymore if you're watching on band. So just while you can, and while I can still reach everyone, I really hope people go and check out Rumble and BitChute World Alternative Media. It was very frustrating back in 2020 when we got banned from YouTube, because for 3 years before that, leading up in every video, at the beginning of almost every video, I said, please go subscribe on BitChute because we will be banned on YouTube. And then they ban us. And then for the last 5 years, I mean, 95% of people didn't follow us over to BitChute, and it's only a link away. For the past 5 years, I'll be walking down the street and people come up to me all the time. What happened to you? Where have you been? Do you still make videos? And it's like, I told you in every single video, I'd be over there. And we've made thousands of videos since then on BitChute. So yeah, I really hope people go and follow us over on Rumble and BitChute at World Alternative Media. BitChute's doing amazing work right now and really building on what they have, and I really appreciate them and what Ray, the creator of BitChute, is doing. He's done amazing work. I talk with him often, and he is one of the most supportive of all those. Mike Adams over at Brighteon is great as well, and I hope people subscribe to us on Brighteon. I just have an issue with the codec uploading videos most of the time there, so I don't get every video up on Brighteon. YouTube, I mean, it's YouTube. We got randomly brought back to YouTube back in May. I have no idea why. I was shocked we found a loophole. I was shocked that I was allowed back on. But I mean, they've already taken down a bunch of our videos and given us community strikes since. So I doubt that we will be on YouTube much longer. Again, it's pointless to depend on that. I appreciate the subscriptions on there and for more people to subscribe there. But I mean, generally speaking, it's best to focus on Rumble and BitChute over at World Alternative Media. I wanted to just do a little, update for everyone here and get this up on the Saturday, of course, after Halloween, because I know a lot of people are going to be at home, wiped out from parties last night. Halloween on a Friday is like blasphemy. It's the way that is going to work out. I say this on Friday. I'm posting this on Saturday. I can only imagine there's going to be quite a few hangovers out there. And I just think it's quite possibly the worst day to have Halloween on, Friday night. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, I hope everyone else is well out there. Make sure to comment below any suggestions, ideas. I'm going to ignore the trolls. But of course, that's bound to happen. I'm used to it. I've put up over 5,000 videos over the years, so I'm used to getting the trolls. But nonetheless, I want to look for good ideas from people to interview and things to do, things to report on. I'm always wanting to be open to what people have interests in that maybe I've that I've missed, that I haven't seen, that I've unintentionally avoided. And I want to hear that information and get that out to you guys. Again, I appreciate everyone. Those links are in the description. That's gogetfunding.com. There's Patreon and Subscribestar where you can pledge $4.99 a month or more, and that'll get you exclusive content. Again, those help a lot. Same with on X at World Alt Media. You can subscribe for $4.99 a month on there as well. We have this Bitcoin address that you could scan on the screen, my friends. We appreciate Bitcoin because, of course, it's helped us keep alive for many years. You might have your own ideas about what Bitcoin is, but the idea at the end of the day is that we continue to survive. I mean, Bitcoin CIA money, well, certainly fiat is also. We just need whatever we can get to keep ourselves up and running. We have PayPal. Our PayPal address is ancientwonderstelevision@gmail.com. And we have our Cointree link, again, right here, including privacy coins, a bunch of different cryptocurrencies that you could donate in. And we truly, truly appreciate your help, my friends. Without you guys, we would not be able to survive. We have obviously all of our affiliates and everything in the description that help support us while getting you guys good products and everything like Wave Watch 2.0. $100 off if you use code WAM, WAM. We appreciate those that get involved in this because they're real world solutions. We have Heaven's Harvest, all that kind of stuff for storable food, code WAM, WAM. But of course, this isn't the video for that. So I'm just going to mention again, thank you to those who've helped support us. Thank you to those who continue to subscribe, to share our content, to hit the like button, to share on social media. And thank you to those who are open-minded enough to be challenged sometimes on things that, all these alternative medias focus on a narrative, and we try to push outside of that and try to explain the psyops within both mainstream and mainstream alternative, because there's a lot of limited hangouts out there. Limited hangouts is a term to talk about, telling part of the truth, but not the entirety of the truth in order to misdirect people from the entirety of the truth. We want the whole truth, and we, of course, suffer because we dare to speak it, or at least ask for it. But alas, what are we here for as independent media if it's not to be, an enemy of all the bad guys, of all the systems that are trying to control us and control our minds and control our bodies? and control our destinies. We need to push back no matter what and at whatever risk might come. I appreciate everyone watching. And as always, my friends, you can find us on Telegram, of course, band.video for now, but Rumble, BitChute, Brighteon, Odyssey, World Alternative Media. We're on Hive, Steemit, and Vigilante.tv at Josh Sigurdson. We're on all the bad guys like TikTok and Instagram, World Alternative Media, Twitter and Getter at World Alt Media, and all the major podcast platforms except for Spotify, where, of course, we're banned. Hit that like button, share on social media, hit the notification bell, and hit subscribe if you have not yet already. And as always, my friends, live freely, live by example. This is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.